Hi, this is Elizabeth Stevens. I'm a news editor with the Missourian. In this video, I'm going to show you how the basics of getting started with designing at the Missourian. So when you first get here, you'll want to go ahead and launch InDesign. If it's not in your dock, you'll want to go to your applications folder to grab it out of there. You should see this screen pop up with the login. You'll want to check the Hosted Block CMS button and then enter your email and password from your Blocks account. You will not see that. Once you are in InDesign, you'll want to set up a few little things here. So under View, you're going to want to set under Extras, you'll want to say Show Assigned Frames. You'll see why that's important later. And then under the Blocks Total CMS menu, under Asset Manager, you're going to set a few preferences. So you'll want to make sure that, it'll disappear for a moment and come back, that workflow, slug, and depth are all included here. So you can see those when you are searching for stories. Under Include, you'll want to select the asset children and the related content. And you can go back to basic search and cancel there. You'll also want to launch a browser and go ahead and open Google Drive. You'll have been invited to the Missourian Budgets folder. Within that, there is a daily Missourian budget and the Missourian print budget. You'll want to have both of those open in tabs. So the daily budget is going to be what is happening all day long on the website, and you can kind of track the progress of stories as they move through the workflow there. We copy the stories that will be for print over to the print budget, and there we divide it out by pages and assign out pages. So you'll look for the page you're assigned to and see what stories are assigned there. Today I'm going to just do an example page and pretend I'm doing page 8. One thing that's changing is we are using slugs instead of keywords, so you'll see a slug and then a convention there. Back in InDesign, I'm going to show you opening a page. So under Documents, open from Blocks Total CMS. You'll be looking in the COM publication, and then it's the date of publication. So today for me is August 16th, so tomorrow's paper will be the 17th. If I'm working in the A section, I grab the page out of the A section. If I'm working in sports, then I need out of the B section. I am going to grab an example page from somewhere else, though, just for this example. And here I can see my page. I have a folio, my grid's on here. So that's kind of the basics on an inside page. You'll go ahead and have your folio there available to you. You'll want to check, see what stories you have, think about how you're going to arrange those stories, and then start to place them. So if your stories are not in yet, you can work with snippets, and in fact, placing snippets to put stories in is really helpful to get all the elements together. So you have story frames, and you'll want to do, we have different options for different sizes. I'm going to do a 4-column story for this example. So you'll be able to place it wherever you want as part of your cursor, so you click to place it. So once you've done that, you'll want to click off and then just select the main story box there. You're seeing it's coming in with a headline, the main story, a photo box, and a caption. You'll go to the Asset Manager. And so from the budget, you'll have wanted to copy that slug over here. And under the second search box, the slug details here, you'll want to paste that in. And that one popped up just as it should. If for some reason something's not popping up, a trick for you is to use the publication date and the section you're working in. So the section is designated with this N for news and S for sports. So you can shorten it up and put an asterisk after it, and it'll look for all things that are slugs that way. So in this case, this is still the only one you've got, but that's another way to run some searches. I don't have a workflow set on this, but you'll want to check and make sure that the workflow says IceDesk published, whether that's IceSlow or IceFast. It needs to be in a published workflow before you grab it to place it. If it's not ready, you'll want to cancel and wait until it's ready. You can communicate with the IceDesk if you need a story. So you'll just want to, once you've selected your story, you can hit OK. And if it has photos, it's going to bring up a box that shows the different photos available. I didn't bring in all high res, but I'm going to use this single photo for purposes of speed. So you could bring in all of them, or you could just bring in one or two. It's up to you. If you include all, then they all check. If you uncheck that, then you just want to double click those red X's to get what you need. Okay. So it often takes a moment for it to place, but you should see everything go into the correct boxes. Once it places, I'm not going to walk through actually changing styles and stuff. That will be in the next video. You'll see that there. But I am going to show you how you get it to a copy editor to do the editing of it. And hopefully that will happen shortly. You'll want to make sure that you get everything kind of exactly how you want it before you send it to the copy editors. So if you're doing a page with a jump, you'll want to go ahead and get that jump set up and everything before you send it to copy editors so they see the whole thing at one time. So again, as I said, I'm not going to spend time stylizing. You'll see some of the tricks for that in the next video. I'm just going to go ahead and place that. I'm going to get rid of this extra box here. The CDEX can be placed directly. You could copy it or place it a shorter version. Our CDEX are only 4 lines, so if I just grab these and place those in the story box, it's kind of just easier for the copy editor to work within the story box. So you get this happening here. So you have your photo, your headline, your story. I have a short CDEC. And then I am going to get it ready to send to a copy editor. So I can click on the main story piece and go ahead and go to the Blocks Turtle CMS menu and say Create In-Copy Assignment. So here you should see your slug show up here. We can go ahead and add in the page number after the end of the slug. So this is technically 4A. That's useful for the desk to know what pages things are on, so you can tack that on. Do not change anything in the title. That affects how it appears online, and you don't want to mess with that. Under workflow, you'll want to go to print. If you're still working on it, if you still have a lot of design work to do, you can just leave the process as design and create the assignment there. The next step in it will be copy edit, and I'll show you how you can check that into copy edit. So I'm just going to go ahead and create the assignment, leave it in design for my purposes, and create the assignment. And you're going to see the colors change. So you see this orange box, everything gets outlined in orange. In the next video you'll see if there's something that's not orange, how to add it back in. It actually checked it in for me, but I'm going to check it out. I've got pencils on, so this box is not showing a pencil. So I want this to get added to my, see how it seems to have its own thing here. So I want to make sure that that is part of my slug here. So I want that to be a caption jump or a wild art or related content, print subheadline. It doesn't actually matter which selection you make. It's just going to require that you have a different one every time. But yes, we recommend one of these options. If you ever get the choice for a caption, just go ahead and skip that. It can affect online. So I want to do that. And there you get the pencil. So now the copy editor is going to be able to check out everything at one time and edit all the pieces instead of you having to go back into them. So you'll want to save, and then if it's all good to go, then you will check it into the copy editor. So to do that, once I save here, I'm going to right click and hit in copy and say check in, and my box is going to pop up again, and I'm going to say promote to copy edit and check in. So that's going to go to them, and you'll see the globes come back on this element, so that means that it's free for them to check out and rewrite headlines and edit the story. You can then continue with the next story on your page, or however you're working through this. You want to make sure that while it's in copy edit and news edit, as much as possible you stay out of it, so that the copy editors are able to get into it. In the next video we'll talk about stylizing and some more design tricks to get things going. The story is going to look slightly different. It is a different story in the next video. I recorded these separately. So the colors you'll see are changing. That's one of the examples, but this orange is where we started. Imagine that the other story started as orange, and you'll see it change colors as you go through the process. So stay tuned for the next video.